So, guys, we've talked about before multiple times that Spider-Man is my favorite character. Hands down. Peter Parker all the way. Haven't really read much of Miles Morales. Nothing against the character. But hashtag Peter is my Spider-Man. So, just wanted to talk about what's going to happen in, 18 months? Amazing Spider-Man number 1000. What do you think? What direction do you think Marvel is going to go for this book? There's only a few directions that I can see, as a wannabe writer. And one of those is to turn one of his villains. Either bringing Vulture back, Mysterio back, something like that. Because I just haven't seen any modern creators create a whole lot of great Spider-Man villains. So it's going to be Norman Osborn coming back as the Green Goblin. It's going to be somebody getting hurt, taking the Ben route and getting hurt and having to remind Peter about his responsibility again. Or it could be Peter and Mary Jane getting back together. But as long as Nick Lowe is the editor, I just don't see that happening. Because Nick may understand Spider-Man. I don't really think that he does. But one thing that Nick does not understand or chooses to not understand, what I term willing or willful ignorance, is what the Spider-Man fans want. Okay? Some characters are destined to be together. Peter Parker and Mary Jane Watson are destined to be together. Just because editorial or somebody at upper echelons of Marvel had a bad marriage or a bad divorce doesn't mean that it can't work for Peter and MJ. It's supposed to work for Peter and MJ. I just got photobombed by Percy. But I don't know where else they could go with that other than making one of his redeemed characters irredeemable again or giving the fans what they want. And I don't really understand why they wouldn't give the fans what they want, because you have to have a little bit of fan service in order to maintain the sales levels. I understand there's people out there like me that buy ASM each and every single issue, and we don't think that it's the greatest thing since sliced bread, and we never will think it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. But you know what? I've been collecting this book since issue 361. So right around Carnage. That's 1992, 93. Why would I stop? Because eventually it's got to get good again. And I don't want to fall off the train and then have to jump back on and not know what's going on. So we, like Peter Parker, are ever the eternal optimists, and we just know that things are going to improve. But what do you guys think about this? Do you think that they're going to have the irredeemable character resurface? Do you think the sins of Norman Osborn are going to go back into Norman Osborn? Do you think that the Green Goblin or another Spidey villain is going to kill somebody close to Peter? Maybe, I don't know, Joe Robertson? Possibly even J. Jonah Jameson? Or do you think that they're actually going to give Spider-Man fans and comic book fans in general something that they've wanted for a very, very long time? I don't understand why fan service now is out of popularity. It's not going to hurt you at all to give the fans what they want for once, to give them an opportunity to see Peter happy. Why? Why would you not want the character to be happy? Why would you want him to be miserable? I don't understand. If you love this character, if you're the editor of a character, why in the hell would you want your character to be miserable? That's not going to bring in sales. This is not 1985, 1986. We're not trying to deconstruct everything. I love Miracle Man and Alan Moore and John Totalman as much as the next guy. But if every single issue of Miracle Man that I read was Olympus, Eventually that would get old. So why are you trying to destroy a character that you say that you love? That makes no sense. That would be like me trying to go be a CPA or a banker. I hate math. Hate numbers. Absolutely, just numbers and math don't speak. Haven't spoken since probably middle school. So why in the hell would I go be a CPA? Why would I screw up not only my own taxes, but taxes for untold amounts of people? Aren't you supposed to be the editor to enjoy something, to give people something to be proud of, to work hard at creating something that people love? Not only just the readers, but something that you love. How can you love dissonance? How can you love destroying the fan base that built this character up? It's a head scratcher, folks. It's an absolute head scratcher that Marvel wouldn't give fans what they want. Isn't that always what Stan Lee fell behind? Give the fans what they want? Isn't every comedian that you've gone out there, and there'll be one joke, one terrible, terrible joke that they don't even like telling themselves, but people laugh. They don't get up on stage and say, why in the hell would you want to hear that? They just give the audience what they want. Now, not everything all the time, but give the audience a win. It's like when I was in the car business. You got to give the people that are buying from you got to give them a win. You got to make them think that they won, because they're going to come in here thinking that they're going to lose. So if you let them walk out of there with a car with a sunroof, if you let them walk out of there with something that they really, really wanted, like Blue Cruise, self-driving, or something like that, you got to give them a win. But if you give them a win, guess what? They'll come back to you for life. Nick Lowe, I'm not going to come back to you for life. If you move over to the X titles, I will definitely be sure to stay away. If you move over to Image or whatever, I will look very hard at the books that you're editing before I decide to pick them up. Why? Because you've taken a character that we all know and we all love, and you've ripped him away from everything that he has ever been. It's okay to reinvent a character every so often, but to go against the grain just to go against the grain makes no sense whatsoever. That's why everybody hated Spider-Man 3 in the dark sequence with Peter dancing and just looking like a fool. That's why nobody figured out that character or wanted to root for Peter at that point, because he was just being a jerk. So, to get back to what we were talking about, do you think they're going to be jerks, or do you think they're going to give us what we want? What do you want to see in Amazing Spider-Man 1000 other than a, $15 price tag? What would you like to see? What would make you happy as a reader? All right, thanks, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this. Let me know in the comments what would make you happy to see it in Amazing Spider-Man 1000. And then in about 18 months, we'll see what the crystal ball had to say and whether it was right or whether it was wrong.